Jamaican authentic cooking style. Today we'll be doing the curry chicken. All right, so the first thing we'll do today is start preparing your chicken so it could marinate overnight. You could use chicken breasts. Some people use chicken thighs. Some people use the legs.
You can use a whole chicken.
Or a whole chicken. But today we'll be using chicken thighs. Today we'll also be using some apple cider vinegar, salt, pepper, Jamaican curry, some thyme, green onion, yellow onion, Scotch pepper,
also known as habanero,
or habanero pepper, garlic, olive oil, red pepper, and salt and black pepper. I'll remove the chicken from the container. And put it in the bowl. Then I'll pour the apple cider on it. And what the apple cider does, apple cider vinegar, and what it does is take away that chicken smell and kind of cut any bacteria that is laying around. It will take it away. And you just turn it over, let it sit a little bit. So it could absorb some of that apple cider vinegar. And that's it. Just sit it maybe about a couple minutes, and then you're gonna pour it off, rinse your chicken
with what?
With water, and then you'll come back and start to put your seasoning on it to marinate. So I just draining off the vinegar. Just take time and drain it. Okay. Then you put some water, just barely warm. And you just flip it over. And you drain that off. So now you're gonna pour a little bit of your oil, whatever kind of oil you have. I have olive oil. Just pour a little bit on your chicken. And that puts back the moisture in. Then next you'll put some of your garlic. I have crushed garlic. If you have real garlic, you could crush it and put it in. About a half a tablespoon of crushed garlic.
That's probably a full tablespoon.
Now you're gonna put your thyme. If you have fresh thyme, you could put 1 or 2 sticks of it, but this is dry thyme, and I figure maybe I'll put about half a spoon. So just a pinch. Now you'll put your curry. You can open it.
Ziploc.
Hmm?
It's Ziploc.
Oh, good. So about a tablespoon of curry, and you just sprinkle it over it. Smells good. That's the Jamaican curry. Every curry is different, so you have to get the Jamaican curry. And they do sell it at the market.
At what market?
Sometimes you can get it at your Spanish markets or online. And this is the green onion. I usually use 2, what do you call it? I usually use 2 of them. I just take time and cut them up on the chicken. So basically what I'm doing is put all my seasoning before I start to marinate things together. So you get all your seasoning first, so you're not contaminating anything. And now you cut your yellow onion. You just cut and peel off the skin. Take this little part off. And you could chop it on your chopping board. And then I kind of turn it around and cut it finer. You have to be careful with your fingers. And then you just put it on top. Regarding the Scotch bonnet. If you have children, you don't want to cut this and put it in there. If you want it real spicy and hot, you could cut it up and put it in there. But because of the children, I just put it in there whole, and the flavor will marinate in the meat. When you cook it, You just let it cook in there for a little bit and then you take it out. Because if it bursts in the meat, it's gonna be very, very spicy. And the kids won't eat it. So let's do our...
Can you freeze it?
Yes, this pepper can be freezed. You can buy a package at the store or online, and you freeze them in a Ziploc bag. And we have this for a long time because we don't use it all the time. But when we're ready to use it, you just take it out the freezer, rinse it, and use it. And they're still hot. Now I'm gonna cut my red pepper. I just make lengthwise cuts and then I cut it across. And you don't have to use the whole of it. So I'm just using half of the one I have. It's a big one. So I just use a half of it. Then you put it in the on the chicken. Okay. So now I'm just gonna wipe my hands, and then I'll put my salt and pepper. I'm putting the salt, just a couple dash, and season. But when you're cooking it, you might need to put a pinch more of salt. And this is my black pepper. Basically, that's it. And then I don't use gloves. My hands are clean, and I just use my hands to kind of start to marinate the season and the chicken together before I put it in the fridge for 24 hours. So you just get in there and rub everything together. Make sure you get that curry all over the chicken. That's it. So I just washed my hands with soap and water, and now I'm ready to cover the chicken and the seasoning that I put on it and put it in the fridge for 24 hours. So it's nicely marinated. So I'm gonna put it in this glass thing and cover it. Sometimes you can shake, put it in, and you put it in the fridge for 24 hours. We'll be back tomorrow to continue the cooking process. Thank you. I am back. Yesterday we started with the chicken. We cleaned it, marinated it. So now it's over 24 hours of marinating, and now we're gonna start the cooking process. Before I put it on, let me put it down here. I'll turn on the stove. And I have like a iron pot. It cooks meat better. It cooks things better. I put it on 6 so it will get warm. When it get a little warm, I'll put a piece of butter and I'll put some of the curry powder in the butter, stir it around. Okay, currently in my pan I have 2 tablespoons of butter, and I know my pan is hot, so because I could see the butter kind of bubbling up, so then I'll add a pinch of olive oil and just gentle around the pot. That should be enough. And then I have about a tablespoon,
Half a teaspoon.
about half a teaspoon of the Jamaican curry. And basically what I'm doing is season the pot. So when you put it in, the curry could soak, in the chicken. It will get that flavor from also the pot, although it's marinated. So here we go. And I just swirl it around in the butter and the oil. So basically you season the pot.
Where did you learn to do this?
Sister.
From your sister?
Mm-hmm. So you let it warm a little more before you put your chicken in. I didn't cut my chicken up, but you can cut it smaller if you wish. And you could see the butter and the oil, it blends together and there's little bubbles. So it's getting warm, hotter. So you'll be able to proceed and put in the chicken. Hold it. Thanks. Just hold it up. So I'm gonna proceed and put in the chicken. I don't put the seasoning right away. Later.
So just the chicken right
Just the chicken right now. Or you want to kind of let it get brown. You might get a little piece of pepper or onion or something on that, and it's okay. But you don't put the whole thing in right away. And then I'll proceed in getting the cover for the pot and cover it and let it take time to sweat its own moisture, And then maybe later on, you know, after it get brown a little bit, then you turn it over so the other side get brown, and maybe it might need some more water, just a pinch. So here it goes. Thank you. And since we put the chicken in, so now I'm gonna turn it to see what it looks like on the other side. That one got it.
And you're just trying to brown the chicken?
Just trying to brown it right now. You see all this in there? I don't want it to stick, so I try to move it around. That's what gonna make it nice and juicy. I cut it up, but it's okay. Next time I check it again, I'll put a pinch of water around the edges, just around the edges, not actually on the chicken, but around the edges. Okay, I better cut up my potato. One russet potato, I'm gonna cut it and dice it. But you can use any potato, and what it does, when it, you know, I put it in before I actually put in all the season. What it does, it cooks down and help to flavor the chicken, also kind of thicken up the the broth. So here I am peeling this potato. Now I'm gonna put a pinch of water, remember, around the chicken. Okay, so it doesn't get stick.
And you're still at a 6-7?
Correct. I'm just dicing this potato right now, preparing it to go into the chicken. Now, I learned to cook from my older sister, Cynthia McPherson. She was the cook for the family. I remember when she make these chicken or whatever meat she make, she count every one of them. So myself or my brothers or sisters, or even my father, they could go and check the pot, but they don't dare touch the meat because she knows how many pieces there is in the pot to share. So if it's short, she's gonna ask questions. So we don't want to get slapped, so we don't touch. So that's who I learned to cook from. And you just take time, and she was a good cook. You just take time and dice the potato. I think my grandson diced better than I do. But I couldn't use his potato. So I have to cut another one. So that's how you dice it. It's not big. Remember, you want it to kind of cook out and get thickened up in your gravy. And it brings flavor to the chicken.
What was your favorite dish growing up?
Oxtail. I like everything, but oxtail was my favorite. I like the rice and beans. Sometimes we make it with not black-eyed bean. Gungo peas. And it's very nice, especially if it's the green gungo peas. You pick it off the tree and you get the gungo out of the pad. Yeah, and we grow those things in our garden, so we didn't have to buy at the store. The chickens, we did the old chicken when we curry it, and we raise chickens, so that comes from the backyard. But we never see when they kill the chicken, because those were our pets. So they never let us see. But we know. When we get older, we realize where the chickens came from.
Who taught your sister Cynthia how to cook?
I think Mom. And then she just took over.
What was your job? If your older sister cooked, what were you responsible for?
We had to clean the house. I used to do the floor, and that floor have to be shined with some red polish, but you have to kneel on your knees to do it. So sometimes your knees is red if you don't put like a towel underneath your knee. And you go around, you put the polish, and then we have a brush, and we brush it. So every Saturday, that floor is spotless. That was my job, do the floors.
Would you rather cook or do the floors?
I think I retired from the kitchen.
No, when you were a girl.
No, I'll do the floors. No, they didn't let me in the kitchen.
Why is that?
I like to taste. And they know the meat will be missing, so they just keep me out of the kitchen, because then it would be short.
Can you tell us about the soup was it soup on Fridays? Soup on Saturday?
Soup on Saturday.
Soup on Saturday.
And that's my father. He loves to cook soup. So he make patties, and then later on he'll make the soup. And he loves the chicken foot soup. And you get the chicken foot and you cut off the toes and boil the soup. It was very good. And sometimes he makes beef soup or conch soup. Very good. And sometimes he make red pea soup. And then he put pigtail, they call it, to make that. And he makes the dumplings. And yeah, those were very good soup. I didn't do much. Sometimes I'll make the pea soup or the chicken soup, but not like how my father did.
Which soup is your favorite?
Red pea soup or gungo pea soup.
With dumplings?
Yes, with the dumplings. And these were not the round dumplings, these were the little long dumplings. Yeah.
Those are our kids' favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are nice. So everybody tried to, when my sister made it, or my dad, he also camped. He's a baker. So you couldn't go in there and take the dumpling because he knows exactly how much he put in that pot. So you just have to wait till you get your dinner. No tasting. And he'll sit and he's act like he's doing something, but he's watching who's going in the kitchen. So we didn't want to get beat, so we don't do it. I add a cup of water to my chicken. Looks very good. It's nice and tender, you see? I flip it over. That's what you want to see. It's nice and tender. So I'll proceed in putting my potato, my diced potato. This in. Good. And I kind of spread it around the chicken. And I'm gonna put a pinch more water. Okay, I'll add a cup of water, just around. See? Just around. That will give the potato a chance to cook a little bit and it cook fast. Then after this, I'll put my seasoning. I could put the seasoning now. I'll go ahead and add my seasoning. Remember, it was marinating over 24 hours. So now all that seasoning is gonna be added here. So beautiful. Here, get that juice in. Okay, and you just take whatever fork or spoon and just, the main thing here is to get those potatoes in the juices. I have my pepper in there, if you can see, but it's not broken because I don't, want it to get too hot. Now I'm gonna put the cover over, let it steam and cook. Okay, we just added the potato, the seasoning, another cup of water to the chicken, and I cover it and let it cook down for about another 30 minutes.
Okay, so you've taken out the Scotch bonnet?
I took out the Scotch bonnet. I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit more water on it.
1 more cup?
1 more cup of water. I think that's enough. I think 1 isn't good, yeah. And if you look, your potatoes are cooked, your chicken is cooked. Yeah, it's carpet in time. Sorry. Yep. Okay, it's all done. I'm just gonna do a little taster here. Yep. That's your curry chicken. We'll plate it up and then show you the complete meal. Thank you. Okay, this is the final production of rice and peas, curry chicken, plantains, and on the side we usually have tomatoes. We call the big tomatoes salads, but over here I just have these small tomatoes, but it works the same. These tomatoes are from the garden in back. You could see how the chicken cooks out, and all the potatoes that I put in there, it blends in and thicken up the gravy. I had no flour to this. And the rice and peas came out very beautiful.